Thanks for joining us on Arc Salt Lake. I'm Brian Schnee. Tuesday, October 22nd. Tonight we're taking a look at the search for a missing canine from the Davis County Sheriff's Office and how the Utah Hockey Club is trying to get more kids interested in playing the game of hockey. We begin with some of the updates out of Davis County tonight. The Sheriff's Office looking for one of their own, not a missing human officer, but a canine officer. That officer, Canine Cash, has been missing for nearly 24 hours.
Last night, just before 9 p.m., one of our canine officers was outside of our facility at the Davis County Jail and was allowing his dog some time to relieve himself. And the dog took off, and we have been searching for him ever since. We're still in the very early phases of getting to know Cash. He's only been with us for a short period of time. And as anybody with a dog knows, dogs are very unpredictable. We certainly expect more of ourselves. And so we are hoping to get him back to us very quickly.
What have you done to try and locate Cash?
Yeah. So since he was first reported missing last night, crews with Farmington PD, as well as our patrol deputies and corrections officers, were out looking in Farmington last night around our facility, and then have canvassed Farmington. As of this morning, we have been out with drone teams, additional resources from our courts, from patrol, from detectives, trying to find Cash. We've done social media posts. He has been shared in more lost dog groups than we ever thought imaginable. All of the local animal shelters have been contacted, and we're really relying on our local partners like DNR and DWR, who have some resources out here, and we're hoping that will yield some results soon.
Have you had any sightings reported to you?
So far, no sightings.
Was there a certain specialty that Cash was going to be trained in, a certain, resource specifically for use?
Yes. So he is undergoing narcotics detection and trying to ensure that our facility remains secure in terms of outside substances entering our facility. An administrative review is ongoing to ensure that moving forward, something like this does not happen again. These dogs are not just a tool to our department. They are valuable members of our team. And, this is very upsetting that this has happened, and we want to ensure that he comes back safely.
If you have any sightings, you can always check out our article on our website, KUTV.com. The number is posted there. Utah is among several states affected by a deadly E. coli outbreak from McDonald's Quarter Pounders. There have been 4 reported cases in Utah, 49 cases across the United States. At least 1 person has died, 10 others hospitalized. People have also gotten sick in Wyoming and Colorado. Most sick people are reporting eating Quarter Pounder hamburgers from McDonald's, and investigators are working quickly to confirm which food ingredient is contaminated. McDonald's has pulled ingredients for these burgers. They will not be for sale in some states. If you ate a McDonald's Quarter Pounder hamburger and have severe E. coli symptoms, call your doctor. After years of construction, the central tunnel connecting Concourses A and B, it's now open at the Salt Lake International Airport. The entrance to Concourse B has a mini-plaza that will feature the world map reinstalled from its previous home in the old airport. Phase 3 also includes 12 new places to eat and shop and 5 new Delta Airlines gates.
We set out to build an airport that is sustainable, highly functional, and inspiring. And I think that we can all agree at this point, and looking forward to more openings east of us in the future, we continue to succeed on all 3 of those points.
Some of the places you can eat now, maybe you've gone on a brunch at Sunday's Best. They've got one of those at the airport now. Shout out to Michael and his team for opening that up. Also, as a coffee guy, the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, which you can find in California. Now you'll find the first at our airport here in Salt Lake. 4 years after opening, construction is still not complete at Salt Lake City International Airport. Next year, more gates and concessions are expected to open in Concourse B. Gonna have to wait a little longer for that. Coming up on Arc Salt Lake, the Utah Hockey Club wants to get youth across the state of Utah interested in the game. Their plans to get kids on the ice. Right now, the Utah Hockey Club back at the Delta Center tonight, taking on the Ottawa Senators. Welcome, Canada, to Salt Lake City, Utah. Talking about the youth now. There's the Junior Jazz. If you're a Jazz fan, if you grew up in Utah, maybe you participated in Junior Jazz. We've got this NHL franchise here. So what happens to the kids that want to grow up in these fun feeder programs and learn the game like they do with the Junior Jazz? Well, today the Utah Hockey Club announced their youth program rollouts. Had the chance to speak with Nate Martinez, the VP of Hockey Programs, about all the things they're putting out there for the kids.
I'd say the first thing that comes to mind is it's been fun, right? It's been a lot of fun. It's been an adventure for sure to be able to navigate kind of getting a whole new team and program and everything off the ground within 5.5 months. So a lot of fun, a lot of work, but a super cool opportunity.
Let's go through some of the things that you laid out today in terms of the programs available for people. Hockey 101 sounds pretty obvious what that is, getting introduced to the game a little bit, but what is some of the basis behind Hockey 101?
Yeah, our biggest goal with Hockey 101 is to get as many kids the opportunity to be introduced to the sport as possible. So I think people are really, really excited about hockey and having it in the state, but a lot of them probably don't know how that looks as far as getting involved. So Hockey 101 is a great introduction into what hockey is, different ways to get involved. We've got opportunities both on ice and off ice. And so as kids and families are looking for ways to get involved in the sport, Hockey 101 probably gives them that first step of, hey, these are some ideas, some ways, some avenues, some programs that may fit for me, so that hopefully there's something for everybody that they can get involved in and be a part of.
I really like the street hockey program. I think it's maybe even a little bit more comfortable for families that are concerned about the dollar and want to get introduced to hockey, noting that Utah Hockey Club's going to donate some of the necessary equipment to make this happen. Where did you come up with the concept to make this happen? And what can people expect if they want to participate in the street hockey program?
So you mentioned Junior Jazz, and that was our basis for building out the street hockey program. So we've got a great infrastructure in place with all of our parks and rec partners around the state and surrounding region. And so we envision that running very similarly to Junior Jazz, where it's a 6 to 8 week league run through your local parks and rec department. And it gives kids the chance, again, to experience hockey at an introductory level. You don't need skates, you don't need gear. We can play anywhere. You can play in a parking lot, you can play on a basketball court, you can play in a lot of different places. So just the flexibility to be able to play in a lot of different places and a lot of different ways is super exciting. And it's easy access for people to be able to involve in the sport. So as far as what to expect, right, just a lot of fun. It's super fast paced. You're moving a lot throughout the games, and you see line changes in the NHL and how fast they're switching lines. Well, you'll be tired after 2.5 minutes playing street hockey. And so it's just a really good way to, again, learn the basics of stick handling, passing, how to shoot the puck, how to carry your stick safely, things like that. And again, like you mentioned, these barriers to entry and the expensive equipment and the expensive or the difficulty finding ice, right? And those things. So street hockey is a way that kids can come in their shoes. We'll give them a stick. They can play with the ball, and they're ready to go.
The Learn to Play program is a little bit different, where it is a little bit more instructionalized with some of the folks, and includes a coaching staff member and broadcaster Tyson Nash, who has a significant hockey background. Where did you come up with that program?
So Learn to Play is an NHL-backed program. So every every NHL team will run Learn to Play. And again, on the ice perspective, that's kind of the introduction to the sport. And so again, a 6 to 8 week program that will run at the local ice rinks. And the biggest thing that they get as part of Learn to Play is all the equipment, from skates to a helmet, to a stick, to all the pads, to a jersey. Everything is included as part of that program. And again, it's taking away some of that expense as people get used to hockey and figure out what their passion is and what they want to be involved with in the sport. It really gives them that chance to be involved at an easier entry point.
Something that's stuck out with me from the note is obviously the physical education programs that are going to be coming out next spring. That's something I grew up doing when I was in elementary school. We would, go and grab the sticks out of the big garbage container or whatever, and you just got after it. And I thought it was so cool to see that that's going to be put forth to folks across the state. So what can you share about the PE program at this point? I know it's still a little ways away.
Yeah, I think we want, again, to provide curriculum to PE teachers. So as kids go through their curriculum and look what's what's part of the Board of Education and their requirements for physical education in the state, like we want hockey to be a part of that. And so again, we want to be able to reach the most number of kids possible to introduce them to this great sport. And no better way to get to all the kids than go into their schools and go to where they're going to be every day and get that part of their activities and part of their gym classes. And so again, similar to what the street hockey program will look like, a lot of introductory stuff, a lot of stick handling, a lot of things that people probably aren't familiar with on the hockey front, but we can just, again, introduce them and give them ways to, from their PE programs to progress and be a part of programs in their own communities. And there's after school programs, there's all kinds of stuff they can go into from that PE program.
How exciting is this just to be able to roll all of this out? I mean, there's been so much hype and build up, obviously, to something new in the state. There is hockey in the state. There has been hockey for a long, long time. There are youth programs here, but to add this next level coinciding with an NHL-backed franchise, you got to be pretty excited about finally getting this out there for folks to take advantage of it.
Absolutely. I mean, it's really, really exciting. And as we dove into this space, like you mentioned the hockey space and the hockey community in Utah, like they're super passionate. It's such a strong, tight-knit community. And for us to be able to come in and try to be a support and just grow and build and be a support for what they're already doing has been a really fun opportunity. And that's really what we're trying to do with this whole thing is, again, get more kids playing, unify the hockey community, and really just grow it and get more kids into hockey. Through USA Hockey right now, there's about 3,500 kids registered to play in the state. And we're going to grow that number, right? We want more kids to get on the ice, get them experiencing the sport and give them a chance to play. So it's been great to work with the Utah Amateur Hockey Association to build this. And it's just fun to see how excited people are to have another sport, another way to get involved on a professional level and on a youth level. And we're excited to be a part of it. Again, our goal is to provide opportunities for everybody. And whatever that looks like. And again, a lot of people probably don't know what that looks like at this point, but we want kids to play hockey. And our goal is to provide a program that will fit every kid in the state. And again, some people want to put on the skates and get on the ice. Some probably want to play street hockey and go that route. And some don't know which way they want to go. So our goal is to be able to give you all the opportunities to figure out what you're excited about, what you're passionate about, what you want to do. And once you experience it, you're going to love it. I think that'd be the message, is that hockey is a really, really fun sport. And the more people learn about it and grow into it and experience it, it's going to grow at a really, really fast pace. And we're excited to be a part of it.
Now, how do we get the kids on the ice in the intermissions here? That's something I grew up being able to see at NHL and AHL games in certain areas. Does this program hopefully feed into that with some opportunities for the kids to maybe have that special moment to go out there and skate for 5 minutes?
Absolutely. So our Mice on Ice program is functioning. So we'll actually have more teams on October 28th that'll be out there. And yeah, throughout the season, we'll work with every rink in the state to be able to give some of their kids a chance to come skate at intermission and be the stars of the show during Utah Hockey Club's games. So yeah, watch for that throughout the season, because there'll be teams intermittently on and off the ice throughout the season.
And that's the cool part, is you'll see some of the local kids on the ice at the Delta Center during intermissions. Yeah. That's like one of my favorite parts about going to the hockey games, is you get there and you don't get up and out of your seat during the intermissions because the kids start coming out, and it gives you another reason to get on your feet and cheer and pick a team to root for. It's kind of fun. I got to see you on skates, by the way.
Oh, I love ice skating.
I haven't been on skates in years. I would love to get back on skates.
You know, I got a rink near my apartment in Mill Creek. They've got a cool,
beautiful rink.
Yeah.
Might have to go check that out this year. That's not outdoor hockey weather.
That's not ice skating weather. But as we get into next week, it's going to be kind of all winter sports and activities weather, as we're going to kind of flip the script here and get to some cold temperatures, and maybe some snow and rain in the forecast too. So 73 degrees was the high today, 10 degrees above normal. What we are tracking, though, we've got cold front number 1 moving in as we get into Wednesday night. A nice weekend ahead, and then, yes, maybe a messy week next week. But look at this, up into the mountains, Mount Timpanogos. It's looking beautiful up there. You can see those aspens. Right now, temperatures here cooling off into the 60s. And it was such a gorgeous day today. High-level clouds out there, 64 in Delta. We're at 61 in Milford, 60 in Cedar City, 77 in St. George. Some cloudier conditions Up towards the north and then down towards the south, you can see clear conditions for much of the area. Kind of similar tomorrow. The big story tomorrow is even warmer temperatures. We're talking about 15 degrees above normal tomorrow into the upper 70s, close to 80 degrees. Plenty of sunshine. Here's that weak system up towards the north, a spot shower for our northern counties. That's really about it, not a big deal, but it will send a cold front down in our direction and bring us some cooler temperatures as we get into Thursday. Then we get ready for a nice weekend ahead, and then we're looking into the week next week and tracking our next storm that'll be a little bit more significant and impactful and potentially widespread for much of the state. Pretty similar to what we dealt with last week with our Friday storm. Could see some of that mountain snow and valley rain, maybe even mixing down to some lower areas. About 5,000 feet is looking like a pretty good bet at this point. So a quarter to a half an inch of rain looking likely as we get into next week for much of the Wasatch Front. Some of this and across those higher elevations. I'm looking at Cedar City area that did pretty well at the last storm. Some of that liquid could be more in the form of some snow, so watch out for that. Lows tonight down into the 50s and 30s. For much of the area, we're into the upper 70s. I mean, this is perfect tomorrow. A full-on sunny sky, going to be remarkable and beautiful. St. George, 84 degrees. Look at this 7-day forecast. We go from the low and middle 80s, heading into the weekend with really nice conditions. There's that big cool down by next week, upper 70s to eventually the 60s for you down in the St. George area. And then look at the changes here. We got breezy conditions tomorrow, upper 70s. 20-degree temperature drop into Thursday. Then we warm things back up into the weekend. The weekend's looking gorgeous, but there's that big change next week. 50s and 40s, Brian, here. We're going to be keeping a close eye on this day because we could maybe see a few snowflakes falling there across maybe even the valley floors. So watch out for that. And there's a look at that cool weather pattern taking shape.
I'm interested in tomorrow night here. We'll be out at the Delta Center for the Utah Jazz regular season opener. We'll have the show from there, but also some of our earlier coverage. Are you coming tomorrow?
That's a great question.
I think Sean, we got to get Sean out there tomorrow.
Yeah, that would be news to me, but
all right, well,
let's do it.
I think I may have just told you that.
Yeah.
24 hours from now, you'll be doing your forecast outside at Delta Center. And you could wear that. That looks good. I think comfortable. Right. It's not going to be 78 this time tomorrow night. So.
No, yeah, it'll be cooling off quite a bit, but really nice. Hey, not bad.
Okay. Looking forward to next week here. The seasons are continuing to change as it quickly does here in Utah. Coming up on Arc Salt Lake, a robot joins the symphony orchestra. That is frightening looking. How it compares to human musicians. Just taking someone's job. A robotic cellist has taken the stage in Sweden, and it's kind of freaking me out to watch.
Yeah, the robot joined the Malmo Symphony Orchestra to perform Jacob Mulrad's piece Veer, written specifically for the robot.
Where's that close-up shot? There it is.
Mulrad says the experiment is not about replacing human musicians, for now, right? But about gaining new insights into the creative process. For example, the unique anatomy of the robotic arm means it's capable of playing double stops. That's a human hand would not be capable of playing.
Yeah, and obviously I think it's just frightening to look at, but this is really cool technology. I just hate the idea of taking away from a skilled individual who's worked their entire life for this moment to play with a symphony. But it also is very odd to look at. I don't know.
Maybe I could rent that for a party.
That'd be cool. So that'd be really cool.
Host some
it's like the
friends and
piano
family
that
over.
plays itself.
Yeah, you can rent that or purchase that for the holidays.
That is a great idea.
Yeah.
All right.
Look into
Work
that.
on that company there as a side gig.
I'll invest. All right. Well, a New Zealand airport has put a time limit on those long goodbyes in the drop-off zone. How
I heard
that?
about this one this morning. Travelers have just 3 minutes to wrap it up with their loved